Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I'm going to be doing a video on learning how to read your astrology chart. Community post on the Discord, and that we are going to be doing a watch party of practical magic. But you know, if you're anything like me, I don't get half of the damn community posts. So I'm putting it in the video as well. So, and I'm mentioning it also because I'm going to be going to the Discord. Where is that? Okay. So here is the actual Discord. Let me move this over a little bit. Get that fur out of the way. It's the Divination and Spirituality Discord. There's the introduction page, the rules, general. This is where we're just chatting. This is where I have the poll right now. I just put it in for, you know, what day of the week is best. And then I'm going to get down to what kind of hours are best. Because I'm not going to do a couple of different watch parties, but I'm thinking that it's something that we might pick a movie and have a fun little maybe 2-hour watch party once a month kind of thing in the Discord, because I figured out how to do it. So I tested it out the other day and it's super easy. So, and I think it could be super fun. So yeah, if you're not a member of the Discord, and I think we've got like 50 people in here now. If you're not a member, in the description of this video, I'm also going to put a link to the Discord. The links only last for 7 days, okay? But I try to put, you know, updated links in the videos, in my video descriptions, if I remember. If I don't, just ask me in a comment for it. I don't have a problem sending you the link, okay? For those that don't necessarily like the Facebook. But the different things that we have is ancestor work. We have astrology and moon work, past life work, tarot and divination, deity work, numerology, books that you're reading, free readings if you want to do them. They have to be done on that channel. If you're like new and you want to be able to practice on fellow people, that is a great way of doing it. The Season of the Witch, there's a channel for that. Practical Magic, that's the channel that I'm going to be doing the movie on. We've got, if you want to talk about Kickstarters that are upcoming, maybe you are yourself doing a Kickstarter and you would like to announce it in there. Yep, come on. Share Your Wares, that's a channel where I love for you to be able to promote your products, your other social media areas, other groups that you're in, whatever. I just want you to share, because this is community, right? And then new YouTube videos. So any new YouTube videos that you're putting out, promote them there. So we're going to go to the astrology and moon work. Now, I have been putting in every single day all of the daily moon charts. And let's see, today is the 7th when I'm recording this. So I'm going to click on that. And by the way, it's in a waxing crescent moon of 34%. And as of today, the moon is in 29 degrees in Sagittarius. Okay? So on my charts, I include a whole lot of stuff of what's going on in astrology. So down below, if you don't know how to read charts, or you're new to charts, or you just forget the symbols, I have them all down here also, so that you find that symbol on here and you know what that is that's in this. But I'm going to teach you in this video how to structure, or what the structure of reading your own chart is, for those that have asked, okay? So in my deck, 13 sign astrology deck, which I do sell on Make Playing Cards. It's a print on demand site. So there will be a link down below to this particular deck for you, okay? These are linen cardstock. And I mean, it's massive. I've got walkthroughs. I'll put a link down below. So this is the house structure. This, let me turn the lights up. At least one light. Let me turn the other one up. There we go. This is what the house structure looks like on a wheel. So even if you're doing Western astrology, this is what it looks like. So your first house is right here, and you'll see it on the chart on the inside. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Those are your houses in astrology. A house just simply means a part of the life. I'll explain that in a minute. So, I mean, area of your life, right? So, if you have something here, like for instance, if you were born today, this is a snapshot of what today looks like. You would have been born truly with your sun in Libra, 3 degrees in Libra. Your moon sign would be Sagittarius, and your rising sign would be Sagittarius, which means your chart ruler would be Jupiter. So, and whatever your rising sign is, whatever's on the ascendant, is what starts off your chart. So let me show you what that means. Your ascendant. So, and I have the cards here just to show you. Okay. So these are the different areas of the chart. We have your ascending. So this is what is rising when you're born. This is what's coming up on the horizon at sunrise. This is what is the sunset, or on the descending part of the chart. This is called your Imam Kaweli, and this is called your midheaven. Okay, so this is the actual structure of a chart. Now, that doesn't matter whether or not it's Western, or whether or not it's sidereal, or whether or not it's true sidereal. And sidereal and true sidereal are different. I've talked about this. So, these are the different angles, and it is a structure card that comes in the deck. This is a structured card showing you how the houses work on your chart if you're trying to read your houses. So like when you get a report and it says, this was such and such in your first house, well, it means that it was over here in this area. It was within this part of the pie. Your second house right here. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And I'll go through what each one of those means. Okay? So then, this is also part of the structure. So it is said that the things that are on this side of the chart, on the left side of your chart, when you're looking at your chart, these are the, what I mean by that is the aspects that are in there. These are the things that we have control of. These are the things that we consciously can change, right? So it's like changing your destiny or changing your fate by the choices that you make, right? Whereas this side of the chart is considered, well, the things that are on that side of the chart, those are the things that are considered part of like your fate or destiny, however you use that definition. But the things that you don't really have control of, they just happen to you. These could be the things that are considered to be the like pivotal parts in your blueprint, when you're writing your blueprint before life, that are pivotal things that need to happen, right? You could look at it like that. So anything that's down here below the horizon line, because this is sunrise and this is considered like sunset, right? So anything that is below is all considered like the lowest part of the chart. This is considered like nighttime. This is considered like the private things, the things that are like inner, whereas this is more public side, everything that's on the top of the horizon line. is all what is considered public, that the public can see. These are considered the public houses, and these are considered the private houses, okay? So these are all part of the deck. They're the structure cards. In case you forget, that's, you know, essentially what they're there for, to help you learn and what each one of those means. So the ascendant, it's rising on the east over here of your chart, and it signifies the ascending, or your ascendant signifies your personality, vitality, and appearance. And it also is what starts your whole house system. So that determines your first house. So it's important to know as close a time to your birth as you can get, because that makes it truth, right? That makes it the most accurate. So then we've got our lowest part of the chart, which is the Imam Kaweli. This is private, ancestors, intimate. This is the most intimate part of our chart. This is where we see our ancestors, our lineage, the private things in our life, right? And you'll see that by right here, I see Imam Kaweli. And it's also in the chart. Where are you in the chart? Down here? Right here. Okay. Sorry if you can hear the plane. Then we've got our descendant, which is right here on the chart. This is the west, descending on the west. So these are your characteristics. These are others and relationships. Okay. And then our midheaven, which with true sidereal, it goes between like this area right here, between our 9th and 10th house. And it can be different for every person. It is the highest point of the chart. And it also depends on like the sunrise and the sunset, what it's considered on that day, okay, that you're born. So that is the highest point of the chart. So for this one, it's right here, the MC. So it has to do with public, professional, and vocation. So the MC could be like what your career is, you know, what you are meant to do really for a living or for career or mission. You could see it as that too. And in this situation, it's in the 10th house, but sometimes it is in the 9th house. So that's also part, these are points on the chart. So let's talk about the first house. The first house, where are my cards? Here we go. The first house happens to be, like I said, the first house that starts your house system, starts your house structure. So once we know the first house, then we know all of the other houses, because we have a 360-degree circle here. That's what an astrological chart is. Well, not all of them. Vedic is in a square chart. So in this situation, this person would have a rising sign of Sagittarius, because these are all of the signs. These are the constellations. As I've said before, the difference of a zodiac sign and a constellation, because there are lots of constellations in the sky. The reason why these particular signs, constellations, are considered zodiac signs is because they sit on the ecliptic line. The ecliptic line runs through these particular constellations. So the moon and the sun and all of the different planets and asteroids go through this particular line. That's where they travel. So it was that, because this is the area, or the ecliptic line runs through these particular constellations of, which I have them all here, all 13, including Ophiuchus, because truly Ophiuchus, the constellation, does sit on the ecliptic. The sun and the moon and the planets all travel through the constellation of Ophiuchus, which is right here. And Ophiuchus is also in the constellation, is the center of our galaxy. You'll see right here, CG, that means the center of our galaxy. So the center of our galaxy is roughly 12 degrees in Ophiuchus. Once you learn more about astrology, you understand that each one of the houses, 1, 2, 3, 4, talks about a different area of life, right? So the first house, personality, appearance, projection. So the persona, right? The second house is about gains and value. So people, possessions, wealth. So the second house shows how you handle your belongings that you hold sacred, money, objects, qualities in yourself and others are what this house shows. It also shows the side of you that maintains your possessions and what you buy for yourself, as well as the amount of money that you earn. It shows what you are willing to do for money, so it is also highly related to your self-esteem, okay? So where we hold value, and it's also based off of Taurus. Taurus is also ruled by Venus, so that is something to keep in mind. So like I said, the first house, that is like, it's like the front door. If you were looking at this as your house, this is the front door. This is when you open up the door, first impressions. This is how people see you. This is the way that you project yourself, yada, yada, yada. It's the way that you dress, you move, it's your body. And it does very much relate to the way that people perceive you. And like I said, the way that you present yourself to the world. So that's right here. And the second house I did. So the third house, which is based off of Gemini, is of communication and learning. It also has siblings, your neighborhood, because it's like your local area, your schools. So the third house essentially is related to your neighborhood, which includes where you shop, where you work out, your bank, where you mail out your letters. This is the side of you that takes care of the day-to-day routine tasks that you don't have to think much about. This also relates to your childhood and your grammar school, and it shows your relationships with your siblings, the way you communicate, and your attitude towards tiny adventures or short trips, okay? So that is the third house, which is based off of Gemini. So when you look at Gemini, Geminis are known for being teachers. They're known for being really good communicators, very intelligent, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So you can see why this would be the house of communication and learning, right? So then we go into the fourth house. So this fourth house has to do with your family roots and nurturing, mothering, family, home, ancestors. So it says that the fourth house is the symbolic foundation brought from your childhood home, your family, and the parents who nurtured you. So here's the thing. Most generally, it is motherly, because it is also Cancer being feminine, right? However, if the nurturer when you were growing up was your father, this could signify your father then. Or like in my case, I was raised by my mother. So my mom kind of is in my fourth and my 10th house. So, which I'll get to that. So my mom was kind of like the mom and dad. You know what I mean? That whole thing. But the fourth house, you will find your home decorative style in this house, which is very true because I decorate very much like my mother. We always didn't have a lot, but whatever we did have, my mom decorated it so good, it looked like $1 million. Very particular. She's like OCD. Everything had to be extremely clean. That's why I like rebel now. And my house is cluttered, but I love her, and it was a wonderful environment to grow up in, other than, all the cleaning. And anywho, getting back to it. So your decorative style in your house and how you keep your home. It signifies your home and your home privacy as well. Real estate is an important factor in this house as well. And your foundational childhood memories and database from which you subconsciously operate from, you can be found in this house. This is what is considered a cornerstone house. The second house, or the third house, is considered a developing and accumulation house, which means that a lot of the stuff that you have in there might be something that accumulates over a lifetime or over a period of time, and it gets stronger as you get older. The second house is a very challenging and healing house. And the first house is considered a lucky house and a cornerstone house. So obviously it's pivotal because this is your personality also, right? This is how people see you. This is how you project yourself. So now we go on to the fifth house. So the fifth house is based off of Leo, which is ruled by the sun, right? So pleasure, self-expression. When you even think of the sun card in the tarot, it's like joy and bringing light to, and self-expression and happy, right? Just like imagine putting like your face up to the sun and just feeling embraced by it. And we also get nurturing from that because of vitamin D. We need the sun in order to like be healthy, essentially. The fifth house, and also Leo. It's the house of like Leo as well, and sun energy. But when you even think of a Leo, Leos are, they're like bright, they're brilliant. They are known for being like really good, like stage performance, and people are attracted to their light, you know, they're ruled by the sun. So it's like when you go to a party and you see a whole bunch of people like hovering around somebody like they're the star. They could have, if they're not a Leo, then they're really embracing their Leo energy, okay? So anyways, the fifth house, pleasure, self-expression. So it's creativity, fun and joy, and romance. So it says that the fifth house is all about the fun side of you, the things that you do for play when the work is completed. This is the charming, creative, delightful side of you, where your interests, playmates, and hobbies can be found. This is the house of joy, and it is also the house of speculation and gambling. So because what do we say about things? There's got to be moderation, right? So too much of a good thing can not necessarily be a good thing, you know what I'm saying? So the joy of something can easily become over exaggerated, where so if you just like go to the casino every once in a while and you enjoy it, well then that's not really an issue. But if you become addicted to it and you're there every week and it's taking all your money and you're going into debt for it, that's where it can be bad. But we can also see that in the things that we enjoy, the pleasures that we have, whether it's like overeating, whether it's like smoking or drinking or any of those kind of things, you can also see here. Okay? So then we move to our sixth house of the chart. This is our health and our daily life. This is based on Virgo. It's healing, planning, and chores. So, and I don't know if I said, but the fifth house is also considered a lucky house. This is a house of also developing, accumulation, and challenging, healing house. So it is also one of those that accumulates and it gets stronger as we get older. And so we see this more as we become more wise, I think, in our life. And just as we get older also, health becomes more of an issue, right? So you're going to see health and the daily things. So with it being based off of Virgo, it is healing because it's the house of health, but also because planning, you know, because Virgos are very meticulous. They are very detail-oriented people. They are good at organizing. So if you want to start anything, really, embrace your Virgo energy, or know somebody that is a Virgo that's good at organization, that's good at like paperwork, that's good at, but not just that. Virgos are very, 9 times out of 10, they can be very selfless. They're known for being helpers to their own detriment, and then they can become jaded by it also. Because with everything, all houses, there is, and all signs, there's, just like in tarot, there is an upright and there is a shadow to everything, right? There's light and shadow. So, and it's a fine line. It is a fine line. So this is what it says about the 6th house. The 6th house is where you keep the side of you that decides how you like things to go long over the course of your day. The planner side of you. Because this is a house of schedules and planning, it refers to the nature of your work, environment, and how you take care of your health. So it can also be like your diet. It can be like your exercise routines. It can be also things like, you know, how you keep your house, really. If you vacuum your floors every day, if you know, I would even say this gets down to like how you keep your finances, how you do your books, even though we have, you know, finances over in 2. I see a lot of this also in 6 because that is like our organizing side, right? That's our day-to-day. And you can see it a little bit in 3 also. These all kind of intermingle with each other, just like real life does, right? But when you see how a connection here, they can all tell a story, just like a tarot spread. They tell you a story when you see all the components. So your pets are also traditionally part of the 6th house because we tend to them every day. So my 2 dogs, they would also be in that house of Virgo because I feed them, I take them to the doctors, I take care of them, give them love, take them out. That's all part of my daily routine, right? So yes, let's move on to the 7th house. So the 7th house here on the chart is the house of partnerships, marriage, business, and another. So this is the house of others. Oops. This is the house of others. But like important others, you know what I mean? So the 7th house is traditionally known as the house of marriage, partnerships, and open enemies also. It really holds the side of you that really comes out when you are with one other person. This house is about how you handle your one-on-one or one-to-one relationships. Whenever you are referring to your or my relationship, this is the basis and how you relate. So this is those one-on-one relationships. And that doesn't always mean partner, you know, like your love interest. This could be a business partner. This could be a best friend. This could be just somebody. This could be your dog, okay? Or your cats. If you're so in love with your cats and they're like, I mean, I love my dog. He is my shadow. He's with me everywhere. So he's probably also here. He's not just here, he's here. Both of them. But especially Sully, because, I mean, he's always right where mommy is. He's laying right in the chair right next to mama. So, and I've had many dreams of him in other dimensions, of him being a child even. And I feel like, I'm getting way off track, but I feel like they are our guardians too. He watches over us. He sleeps in my bed, okay? So he's also another. But this is not group settings. These are one-on-one settings. So let's move on to the 8th house. I'll make other videos next I'll talk about the different signs in the next one. And then I'll start talking about the planets and all that in each one of these, okay? I'm going to do a whole series on it. But the 8th house, right now we're going to be talking about the house structures. So here's our 8th house. Based off of like Scorpio, and sex, death, and the occult is the 8th house. Challenge, regeneration, hidden. So when we look at, and I forgot to mention also that the 7th house is also considered a cornerstone house. So these are like important, very important houses in our charts, and they tell us a lot about ourselves and our relationships to other people, which, let's face it, that is one of the most important things in life, right? So the 8th house is about the hidden, it's about the occult, it's about spiritual knowledge, it's about our psychic ability, it's about the shadow. The 8th house is the house that is represented during those challenging and extreme times when the crisis expert side of you needs to show its face. This is the side that deals with agony and ecstasy, with sex, death, financial, and all manners of mergers. This house also holds information on surgeries, psychotherapy, and the way that we regenerate and rejuvenate after a loss. How we function during extreme times in our lives, because it is like a house of death. Now, if you think of the death card in the tarot, it is a card of transformation. That could be from one life to another. That could be the ending, but it is very much about an ending and a beginning of something new. Well, the 8th house is like that too, and it's very occult. It's very, and when you think of a Scorpio, because it's based off of a Scorpio, what are the things that are important to a Scorpio? And you've got your 8th house, 8th house, if I can speak right. So now we move on to the 9th house, right? This is based off of Sagittarius. And so, oh, and did I say the 8th house is considered a challenging and a healing house? So the 9th house, based off of Sagittarius, spirituality and higher learning. And you see, the 9th house is kind of like across from the 3rd house. So the 3rd house was like grammar school learning, like elementary learning. Whereas the 9th house, that's more of our more advanced learning. Also think of the wheel, like this is when we're babies. This is when we're older, okay? You're working your way around. So the 1st house is when you're a brand new baby. All you know is more or less about yourself, and you're learning about yourself. And then you start including, like around here, other people, right? And you have to start learning how to communicate with other people. By the time you get over here, then it's more important people, one-on-one. Then you start dealing with other things, right? So by the time you get around to the 12th house, that's really the wisest, but the accumulation of all the other houses. But anyway, I'll get to that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So this is about philosophy, inner knowing, and religion. This is where like the important questions that we all, well, the majority of us ask ourselves in life. This is where we're going to see it in the 9th house. These are the truth seekers. These are the knowledge seekers. These are Sagittarius. This is what I am. My sun is in Sagittarius. So the 9th house is also considered a lucky house. And it is all about how you handle new experiences, foreign places, long distance travel, and legal matters. This is also a house of higher education and big picture stuff like politics, religion, philosophy, and our beliefs. It is also about publishing, advertising, and how we handle forming our opinions. It is known as the most auspicious house, the luckiest house, and it is a house of Dharma. Dharma is our main purpose in our lifetime, right? So that's what you'll see in the 9th house. Our 10th house right here is based off of Capricorn, and it is the public life and vocation, reputation, status, and father figure. Now, like I said before, if you were raised, let's say you were raised by your father, or the father was the more nurturing in your family out of your mother and father, then it could be more the house of your mother if she was the more structured one, and the 4th house would have been the father. It has to do with the way that you were parented, okay? So anyways, the 10th house is a cornerstone house, and it's a developing and accumulating house. So it says that the 10th house is your public side. It is the house of our chart that describes your public career, your reputation, and social status. This is the side of you that takes time to learn and become accomplished. It shows your behavior in moments of authority and when under someone else's authority, such as a father figure or a more assertive mother figure, right? This is your house of vocation and of life's work, purpose, and or of calling. I think you can find past life stuff in this house as well. That's what I added. I do, because I think if you're really strong in a vocation here and you see where your south node is, when you look at those, you can see like maybe unfinished work, or even your north node, unfinished work that you still have to do in this life, like life mission stuff. And I think that you can see that in the 9th house too. But isn't it funny that it's the 9th and 10th house, the highest part of our chart, which is also where our midheaven is, which is also like life mission kind of thing, right? The MC. So then we move on to our 11th house. The 11th house is based off of Aquarius. So before, when we were talking about the 7th house of others, well, the 11th house is others, but more like in group settings. So like social media, you're going to see that. Like you're going to see large groups of friends, like support groups, and just any number of things that could be like group related, right? So social groups and connections, friends, social activities, and peers. So the 11th house is also a developing and a accumulation house. So another one that as we get closer, you know, these, as I said, we're getting older, because this is the 1st house. This is when we're a baby, and we're getting older as we work our way around. Now, that doesn't mean that you're a baby because you're an Aries, because the 1st house is based off of Aries. It just means that in this cycle, you're starting this cycle again in whatever particular area you're focusing on. So the 11th house shows the side of you that is the team player. This house helps you find your peer groups. It shows the types of organizations that you join, the folks that you consider your kindred spirits. Yeah, this is your soul family right here in your 11th house. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. And your soul family. This house shows how you will act in group situations, as well as the causes and social activities that you hold in your heart and of high importance. So when we think of Aquarius, those are the things that are important to Aquarians, because they are very forward thinking. They're considered sometimes like extravagant, or maybe a little bit different, because they are like forward thinking. They're thinking of like the masses, you know what I mean? They think of others, but as far as like groups of others. So anyways, we'll get to that. So now let's get to our 12th house, which is based off of Pisces. And so the 12th house is our unconscious and endings. So meditation, psychic states, and fantasy. So the 12th house is considered a challenging and healing house. So endings, psyche, psychic states, meditation, moksha. I've talked about moksha before. Foreign lands. So the 12th house is where the secret and public side of you resides, where we retreat and regroup when you need alone time. Secret affairs and dealings take place here, as well as hospital stays. A house of endings, and where we merge with the unconscious. A house of confinement, secret desires, psychic states, and moksha, which I will touch on that in just a second. This is your place of fantasy, illusion, and pretend. Moksha is the desire to break free of the karmic cycle of death and rebirth. It's about liberation. So when I was learning first Western astrology, then I went to Vedic, touched on Vedic just lightly, because right when I was learning about Vedic, I found out about real sky, and that Vedic still wasn't quite accurate to what was in the sky. It was a heck of a lot closer than Western astrology, but it was not exactly, because they were not taking the size of the constellations that sat on the ecliptic into consideration. So all of my charts have all the symbols down below. So next video, we're going to get into the different characteristics of each one of the signs. Okay? If you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below. Also, like I was saying, in the Discord group, we have a channel that is astrology and moonwork. And if you are trying to reconcile Western astrology or your Vedic astrology, whatever you're doing, with true sidereal to see what is actually in the sky based off of the true measurements, well, I put in every single day, and I've put through so far through the 11th of November. Okay? So that is like a screenshot every day, and I do it at noon, and it's from like New York City. I'm using that as like my base, but so that you'll understand a chart. So the next time we go through this, if you want to have a chart in front of you while I'm doing it, there you go. And if you want a resource, I will put this down below. My deck is like 80 some cards, I believe. One of the things I do want to mention also is for each one of these, and it won't go any bigger, each day I put what phase the moon is in and its illumination. So for instance, if like November, well, let's go back to today. So November 7th, we're in a waxing crescent moon. So waxing crescent, that's what it looks like. The waxing crescent is at 34% illumination. So it is a waxing crescent means it's 45 degrees from the sun. This is the moon phase. This moon phase is great for intention setting and taking action. And then you click on it and you see that it's in Sagittarius. And if you're in that time zone, which this is Eastern, then it would also be in the first house, right, of self. So you can get really, really detailed with the amount of information that I'm putting in the group. And if you want to know, just contact me, send me a personal message and just say, okay, I live in this time zone. Can you just check really quick, the location of, where the moon is for me? Do it personally though, because I'm not going to do one for every single one and provide it. But if you want to contact me personally, I don't have a problem with that. If you want to know specifically what house it's in for you universally, okay? So I hope you have found this particular video helpful in starting to learn how to read your astrological chart, your wheel. And I hope you look forward to the series that I've got coming. And my aim, honestly, in doing astrology, and I don't normally do forecasts and all that, because I think astrology, just like tarot, is a personal thing. So it's a general thing. So depending on what house it falls into for you, depending on what your birth chart is, all these energies can affect you differently. I mean, it might be normal energy if you were born under that energy. You know what I mean? It might not be anything wild. If you were born under like a Mercury retrograde is like home anyways. So I don't necessarily like the generalized stuff. I like empowering people to learn for themselves how to look. That's why I provide these things for people, so that you can look for yourself, just like you do self-discovery in tarot, just like you do in anything else, like human design or learning your numbers and numerology. Astrology is no different. And it's really not that intimidating. It really is not. It's just another system like anything else. So, and I'm just passionate about it, but I hope you have enjoyed this, and I am sending you love always.